Dr. Schmerling, how do we uncover, how do we reveal, how do we find children who are in these situations, and how do we save them? To me, that it seems to be such a challenge here because the nature of domestic violence, it's happening behind closed doors. The abusers do it to an extent so no one will find out. The victims are sometimes and many times afraid to speak out, and the children are caught in the middle. What can we do?
That's a very, very good question, and one that we need as a society to answer so this doesn't happen again. There has to be a little bit more transparency and less shame in talking about domestic violence, and also the generational quality of domestic violence, that it doesn't only affect those people that are directly involved, but it also has collateral damage on future generations because, as I said before, it is a repetitive cycle, and this will happen over and over again. And people will not talk about it unless it becomes more transparent. Perhaps in schools, there should be groups for people, like people going through a divorce. There's something called banana splits, in which children going through a divorce can talk in a very safe environment about how they feel about things. Why not do that with domestic abuse and violence, so that there is some place that these children can actually tell people and they won't get into trouble? The problem with children is not a problem, but they're trying to protect their mother or trying to protect someone, so they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to also get their mother into more trouble because she has been beaten or she has been abused by other people. So it's a very complex problem, but one that needs to be opened up and more transparent, and perhaps the schools can begin to do that, and certainly with media. And you guys are in a wonderful position to open up the idea that it is okay and it is a moral imperative to be able to protect our children.
Myra, is there anything that our system can do better? Dr. Schmerling, I think about the children, at different ages, obviously they're comprehending different aspects of what is actually going on. For a 2-year-old, much different than an 11-year-old who was there trying to defend his mom. And I'm wondering, how do we get through to the children that, and do you think there's an educational process maybe that should be part of what we do in school, what we teach kids, that, hey, if this is happening, this isn't okay, you can speak out about it? Is that where we have to reach these children?
Absolutely. There needs to be an educational process, just the same way that 30 years ago people didn't know that smoking caused cancer, and people now talk about it, and people are aware of it, and people do something about it. We can't get any change unless the whole situation becomes more transparent. And there is a way that starts in the school system in the concept of what a bully is. A bully is the same thing as someone who is a violent abuser, an emotional and physical abuse for a woman or a man, but that's what bullying is. So if there is a way out of bullying and to make bullying more transparent, and what happens when you stop bullying, then people become more responsible to the victim, which needs to be, as I said, more transparent. We need to talk about it. Just the same way that we have solved a lot of problems. Make it transparent, but there also has to be a support system for the person that is abused, because that person does not want to go back to the same situation. So it's really a three-pronged approach. It's a family approach. It's the front of it is the child, and possibly placing the child in a safer situation, and then working with the person that's been abused. So it's complex, but we have to start somewhere, because this is so prevalent, and we need to save these children. We need to help these children so that they don't feel as though they have to protect their parents. Their job is to be a child.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice if children could just be children? Dr. Schmerling, always great to have you on the program. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Myra Spearman, founder, executive director of the National Domestic Violence Registry. Thank you so much for joining us with your perspective and the great work that you're doing with your organization. Renee Sandler, Beth Karras are going to stay with us because we've got another story to talk about.